My husband and I at that point were not yet married, and kind of immature to understanding the financial needs for a family.
Were you working at the time, or your wife?
No, I was on and off, like different jobs. It was hard keeping a job with the unstable household or the unstable living situation, and it was really hard finding it.
And besides the 27% poverty rate, we have 42% of our citizens in the city who actually do not have a wage that is considered a self-sufficiency wage.
I was temporarily living with my mom. She didn't want me and the children in the house. I wasn't allowed to use the address to receive benefits, so it just made it more difficult to leave. My husband was living with his mom, and that wasn't working out.
So I lived with my mom, and she lived with her mom with the kids, and that was almost severe, and that kind of got a bit too much.
So we were fast approaching being actually on the street when we found NPIHN and made the phone call. So we didn't want to be separated, and there was no way at that time in the city to go into a shelter as a whole family, especially with not being married. It wasn't even 2 weeks later we moved in, and we were there for 8 months and moved out into our own apartment, and we were able to move in as a family for the first time in my son's whole life, really. It was the first time that him and Dad were under the same roof.
I've done warehouse work. I've done delivery for pizzerias. I've delivered for companies. I've worked in warehouses. I've worked in kitchens. I've done dishes. I've done cooking. I'm actually an artist and a certified massage therapist, and I still can't find a job either one.
It's not something that goes away. You know, once you fall into this type of situation because you don't have the supports. So once you're back in the real world, then you still need support, and can make great efforts because there's so many people to support. They can't do everything. So we did actually end up getting evicted from that apartment and ending up, being the invisible homeless, staying with this person or that person until we got back on our feet. And we ended up renting a room. The 4 of us together, renting a room to slowly build back up. We had to learn once again to live beneath our means and build up. And now we're in a 2-bedroom apartment trying to get all the credit and everything lined up before we buy a home.
I pray that we will get over this hump that we're in now. So far, we've had a stable household for the past 3 years. It's been a little rocky. Like right now, I'm actually getting out of that.
42% are paying way more for housing than they can afford, way more for food than they can afford, and cannot live without the help of public benefits.